Hey guys, if you're enjoying the content that I'm making, please click that subscribe button. Also remember to click that bell button and make sure to tick that box to send all notifications so you don't miss out on any videos. With that in mind, let's get on with the video. What's up guys, welcome to Monchkinz Gaming, where we take your gaming to the next level. This is Monchkinz logging in to bring you another Dissidia Final Fantasy Opera Omnia video. And in this video we are gonna be going through the latest lost chapter that we received, and this is on Quistis Lost Chapter. And of course we are going to be going through in this video the hardest fight of the Lost Chapter, which is Balamb Whiplash Part 15 Hard Mode. So without further ado, let's start this video. And as always, we are going to be going through the weaknesses, resistances, and abilities of the boss. And the boss for this fight is called Tear's Eye. So for its weakness, it's weak to fire, earth, and wind elements, and has a resistance to water elements. As for its abilities, it has access to water, Waterra, Waterga, and of course these are all water brave magic attack. Depending on the level, of course, it will be different. For this, in this case, since it's the hardest fight, it will be Waterga. Next is Ultrasonic, which is an HP magic attack, Water Bullet, which is a water brave magic attack plus an HP attack. And it has Group Waterra as well, which is a group water brave magic attack. Shining Tears, which grants itself an attack up, speed up to its allies as well. Next is Magic Deluge, which raises its own max brave, attack, and speed. This only happens, I do believe, when one of them dies. Correct me if I'm wrong, because honestly I get to the point where one dies before and they actually get to do a lot of their attacks now. Next is Big Wave, which is a group water brave magic attack and grants itself a turn rate up. It also has a fair chance of inflicting a speed down to all enemies. And finally it has Glower, which inflicts a defense down to all enemies. Tear Eyes also, however, has some low resistance to poison, speed down, and range resist down debuffs, and has a high resistance to initial brave down debuff. Alright, so now that we know the weaknesses, resistances, and the abilities of Tear's Eye, let's take a look at some general tips and guide. And for the first one is to save about 70% of your abilities for the boss. Honestly, at this point, if you are running with a level 60 team, you can't even just keep using all your abilities, and you get to the point where you don't actually run out anymore, at least for this lost chapter anyway. So when I say 70%, that's just around the ballpark, but if you manage to save like maybe 50%, I think you should still be fine. Tear's Eye doesn't actually have a lot of HP as far as I'm aware. Next up is to bring in the boosted characters, and in this particular lost chapter it's going to be Quistis, Vivi, and Sarah. And if you don't have any of these characters, other characters that you may want to consider are Lightning, Vincent, Beatrix, Lael, Ramza, Paladin Cecil, which is P Cecil, I just put it there, Kuja, Thancred, Agrias, Fawn, Bartz, Celeste, Ace, Deuce, Papalymo, Alice, or Lilith. Now, obviously there are a lot of characters now available in Dissidia Opera Omnia, and I really can't list down all the characters here. These are just some of the characters that I feel that will do really well. And from top to bottom, I think it's going to be like Thancred, Kuja of course is there, Lightning and Paladin Cecil, and of course Beatrix, and let's not forget Bartz as well. Bartz could be higher than Lightning actually in terms of effectiveness in this particular fight. Now for healers plus brave battery options, you do have Rem, Selphie, Yuna, Eiko, Aerith, or Kate Sith. Now honestly, Yuna and Aerith are probably in the lowest tier in terms of a healer plus brave battery option. At the most part, people like Eiko and Quistis. Selfie can still be effective, and Rem can still be effective as well, especially if you have her EX weapon as well. That she does do quite a bit of damage, and her turn switching will really help you out. And finally, for the summon, you do have an option between Ifrit, Bahamut, and Pandemonium. Pandemonium is there only for chase teams. I don't really recommend bringing Pandemonium if you're not planning to do a chase team. Alright, so now let's take a look at some general tips for the actual fight itself. The first one is just bring Kuja. It's that simple. Just bring Kuja. If you have his EX, just bring Kuja. He basically eliminates everything, every problem you have in this Lost chapter, as well as, you know, all the other previous Lost chapters and of course events. Kuja is right now one of the strongest characters that we have. So if you do have a Kuja, just bring Kuja and you shouldn't have any problems. Basically, even if you just bring a friend Kuja, you will be able to clear this fight, as you guys will see in this video. Although I don't know if you're gonna get the high score. I'm sure you can. I sort of was kind of laid back in this particular video, but there is another one that I will show you later that I did get the score required, which is 230,000 points, I believe. So yeah, just bring Kuja, bring a friend Kuja, easy as. But however, if you do not have Kuja, then the next one is basically to try and kill the bosses at the same time. Now this is not necessarily you really need to do. It's just if you do kill one of them, it will, the other one, whatever is left behind, will use Magic Deluge, which basically increases its max brave, attack, and speed. So you have to make sure you can survive with the one boss having Magic Deluge. They will hit a lot harder, and obviously Shining Tears is another one of their buffs, and if you combine Shining Tears and Magic Deluge, it can be quite a trouble. But other than that, you know, there shouldn't be any problem if you do decide to kill them one by one. Of course, if you kill them one by one, then you only have to concentrate on one. That is, I suppose, the pro in that. Next is to use your summon wisely. If you're aiming for chase sequences, especially if you're doing a chase team, you need to make sure you summon in a good order. This is one of those Lost chapters that the chase team is still quite effective. And finally, the last one is going to be delay. If you have Quistis, delay. If you have lightning, delay. If you have Setzer, delay. They will serve you well. Now the other thing is obviously bringing buffers and debuffers. I'd actually write it down there because I think by now a lot of people should be considering one support character in their team, whether it will be a buffer or a debuffer. It will be up to you. A debuffer would be nice, especially if they have Shining Tears, if you can still push out some of the buffs from Shining Tear, that will be great. Unfortunately, Magic Deluge is I believe a non-framed. You won't see it at all, so having that extra debuff will help. Obviously a buffer will help you as well. Alright, so now let's take a look at some possible party compositions. The first one is obviously going to be the boosted team, which is Quistis, Vivi, and Sarah. And as for the support character, I did put Kuja there because, you know, Kuja's the best one. You can definitely bring a Quistis support as well if you really want to, but honestly the Kuja support is a nice addition to this team. As for the summon, I just put Ifrit there, being, you know, my favorite summon in this game. Next up, is going to be Lightning, Lilithset, and Kuja, which you guys are seeing now. Of course, this is with a Kuja support. This will ensure that you basically wipe the floor out of this lost chapter. Having 2 Kujas is definitely going to help you out. Now, the one thing that I would tell you guys is obviously for your own Kuja, and try to save your Ultima 9 as much as possible. You know, other than that, nothing else. It's pretty self-explanatory because Kuja will just mop the floor out of these 2 Tears Eyes. For the summon, I did put Ifrit / Bahamut, but obviously my first choice is going to be Ifrit. The next team I have is Thancred, Eiko, and Agrias, and again, this is with a Kuja support. Thancred has the poison ability, which is the Tears Eye has a low resistance to, so you would effectively put the poison debuff on them. And of course, Eiko is a buff, and Agrias is just gives you an extra DPS. And of course, if you can nullify their paralyze them with her ability, that's a plus as well. And finally, for the last one, I just put the Chase team here. You know, this will comprise of Lael and stuff, and Pandemonium for the summon, so it's really going to up to you. So other than that, there are quite a lot more different party compositions that you can try out. However, I'll be in this, you know, this video will be so long that it'll never stop. So this is going to be the end of this video, guys. All I have to say is this lost chapter isn't hard if you do have Kuja, which is kind of a obvious thing right now. Obviously, if you don't have Kuja, it still doesn't really feel like it's all that difficult. The Tears Eyes actually do not have a lot of HP, as I felt like the other lost chapters may have for their bosses. The other thing that I actually wanted to try out here is if you guys have your Celeste, because the boss actually have a lot of like magic attacks. Basically all of his attacks are magic based, so Celeste will definitely be one of those characters that will do well in this particular fight. However, right now I'm not sure how effective she will be in terms of her DPS, but obviously if you have Celeste and you're having difficulty for this fight, then you can definitely bring her with you. Now, other than that, I think I will end my video right here. Remember to click like, subscribe, and share this video if you find it helpful at all. As always, I'd like to hear from you guys. What team did you use to actually defeat this lost chapter? Of course, the most obscure team, the better. And I do believe McNull, and if you guys have been to Reddit, he will be probably posting a call to arms in regards to this lost chapter. Definitely check out Reddit and see. If I find the link to his post, I will put it down in the comments below. Not the comments, what's it called, the little description box below. That's what I want to say. And make sure to follow me on Facebook at Monchkinz Gaming, and of course you can follow me on Twitter as well at Monchkinz Gaming. This is Monchkinz logging off, and I'll see you guys in the next level.